Building a filter, a overall filter. It's a one to remove silt and stuff from the pond so I can use it in my greenhouse that I'm going to build. So these are 55-gallon barrels, and they contained like a flavored drink. Let's see if I can find it on here. Yeah, grape flavor. Another one is cherry flavor. Anyway, I think it's cherry flavor. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, I found this guy in Bauxite, Arkansas a few years ago, and he's the same guy I use for all of my containers. I get the containers, and these were the same things, the same barrels that I use to mix my nutrient and the storage, water storage barrels and all that. I've been getting them for a few years now from him, and they're only $10 a piece. So that trip to Bauxite was about an hour, and then another $20 for these two. So the first thing I need to do is I want to create one filter system in one barrel, just to keep it super simple to remove the silt from the pond. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, because this is, my thoughts are, this is the strongest part of this barrel, so I want to cut this out so that I can create a catch for the incoming water that'll go through a filter, 200 or 100 micron filter system, and then get filtered down to even lower. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out. Okay, the Sawzall made quick work of that. Cut it out, still trying to clean it up some. Alright, I'm out here at my new pond filter. This is my filter I've created to filter out silt and other pond debris coming into the greenhouse, the new greenhouse. So at first, let me first take you here and show you what this is. This is the intake. This is where the hose, this is a hose fitting here, PVC hose fitting. It'll connect into here. It'll come up to a valve. I can dial back the pressure going into the filter or let it fully open with this valve here. It'll go into the barrel here. Now I cut the top out of the barrel, and I bought this little 55-gallon drum top here on Amazon. I think it was about $17 or $18. So let me put this aside here and show you what's going on in here. Okay, I've got these valves here, these bulkheads rather, and they're simple little bulkheads. They're 3/4 inch slip here to slip inside here, and they have a little washer here, a rubber washer, or maybe it's a vinyl washer. Anyway, it seals out water. So looking on the inside here, what we have got is we've got the input pressure coming in. It comes across, straight across here, and hits this valve. This valve has a cap on it, and it's forced to then come up these T's and disperse on all 4 of these T's. Now these T's have a screw in it, and they're going to hold a water sock. And let me grab a water sock. Here's the water sock right here, and these are 200 micron water socks, and it's loose right now. That's why it's moving. I haven't tightened it down because I'm going to disassemble it for you. So the incoming water is going to filter through these are 100 micron filter socks, sorry. So it's going to filter through 4 of these. The other ones are over there. And then it's going to fall down into the barrel, at which point, as the water comes up here, it's going to, here's an overflow. If it goes too high, it's going to overflow. We don't want it to go past the top of the water sock, or the filter socks here. And then we have this contraption here, which is a 5 micron filter. And I will show you a little video, or a little bit of video on what that, where I bought it and all that sort of thing. Some more information. So first, before I show this installed, I'm going to take this apart and show you how I tighten it up and how that all fits together. Okay, every bit of this is glued. All the way across, it's glued except for this one part of the slip. And this was here, and I pulled it out. Now I need to buy a junction here, that way I can pull this whole thing out if I need to and clean it out. But what I do is I put this junction in, like this. Then I put the washer on and I tighten it down. Doing it all one-handed here. Well, let me do that. And then as I tighten it down, it pushes into this. I push it in tight, but the screw holds it in and it keeps it stable from wobbling and turning. So let me tighten up and I'll show you. Okay, I pushed it in to that slip fitting there. That's the only part that's not glued. Got a mosquito there, sorry. And then I tightened it down here and I tightened it down over here. Now this makes this, as you can see here, it's moving the whole barrel instead of moving this. It makes it really stable so it can hold a lot of water pressure coming in. Now the overflow here is going to look just like this, and then I'm going to have a piece coming out and plumb to some place that's going outside of the greenhouse. Now to insert the 5 micron filter. Here's how I made the 5 micron filter, sediment filter for the whole system. This is obviously a 10" by 5" made by Tier 1. Filters down to 5 microns. And all I do is I took 3/4 inch PVC. You can see here it fits in there really loosely. I drilled holes, that way as water comes through the outside it'll find the holes and start hitting up the pipe. I push all this through. I put an O-ring on each end. I put a cap on one end, and then I put this slip in on the other end, and I will show you it assembled now. And none of this is glued, by the way, it's just pressed on. It holds really well. And there you go. Got an O-ring sealed here, and an O-ring sealed on this end, and the holes in the middle here. Water can't get in unless it goes through here. Now these little O-rings, I had those extra from my Eco Plus 396 hydroponic pump, and I've got a few of those, a couple of those, so I have plenty of O-rings, but you could just buy O-rings. So that's it. It just sits and it connects in there. Okay, you take off this piece out here with the valve. None of that's glued because everything coming out of this 5 micron filter is going to be going really slow. But this is a vent stack, and it is glued down. It's not glued up here, but it's glued down there. All those pieces right there are glued. The slip and the slip over there are not glued. But this vent stack not only comes above the drain valve, the overflow valve, but also provides a handle for putting it into the, let me do it here, for putting it into the hole here, so you don't have to reach way down in there when it's full of water. So that pulls just like that, and then all you got to do is tighten it on this side over here, and then that 5 micron filter will be sitting at the bottom, and it'll be vented up here. Let me install the filter or the valve, and I'll show you what it looks like completed. There's the vent stack, and I put these 2 elbows on here just as a measure to keep stuff from falling into the 5 micron outlet there. So that's installed now. It's tight over here, and then all we have to do is put this on and plumb it to wherever we want. It doesn't even need to be glued on. So we can stop it, or we can let it run full, and then the whole thing is, once it's in place, let me put this back up and tighten this back down. Once this is in place, sorry about that, it's a C-130. Yay, go Air Force. So once it's in place, all you got to do is put it back on, and that's it. Next thing, I will show you what it looks like working, filtering. Okay, I've made a couple improvements. First, with the filter socks, I put a little bitty zip tie on here because this was trying to migrate over and, you know, try to lift out, and this extra zip tie here provides a little extra insurance. On the very bottom down there, I shortened it so I'd be able to use the arm here, grab the arm right here and lift it out easily enough without bending. It was a little bit tight, the end came over. I also put an elbow on the end of it so that it is supporting the filter off the bottom. And finally I added this little vent stack. I plumbed it into the overflow here. Now it'll come to the overflow when the water level gets here, it'll overflow, but it won't start going back into the filter line until it gets up another 3 inches or so. But this I needed to do anyway for the handle, and if it was going to overflow here, it might as well overflow from here. So this provides a lot of extra stability too on the arm going down. So that's it. The overflow has to be plumbed to go somewhere outside of the new greenhouse, and right now I've got a valve on the 5 micron filter down there. So now it's time to put it to use and see what we get. Alright, we have water coming in. Going through the water sock. Down to the bottom, just like I want. Okay, it's coming out pretty quick, faster than I thought it would have. So we're up high at the drain. Let's start the stopwatch here. We'll come back later and check out how long it takes. The air going through. It's actually a lot faster than I expected. Very, very pleased with that. 5 microns. Okay, we're getting pretty close. It's going to go over the top of that filter pretty soon, and then it's going to cut back drastically. It's already started flowing less, and we're under 18 minutes. So we just figure roughly it takes about 20 minutes to drain. So that will allow me to set a timer to fill up this, and then allow 20 minutes or 30 minutes and then do it again or whatever if I want to put it on a timer. But I'm really happy with it so far. We need to do an actual test with pond silted water and see if we can get some good usable hydroponic base water. Okay, as you may have seen from that dry run test using clean water, that the filter socks are kind of going wonky. They're kind of twisted because there's no weight inside the sock to weigh it down straight down. So I came up with this. These are just tarp straps. I've had them laying around. You can see that they were blue at one point and I painted them, but I took some 100-pound nylon cord also had laying around, and I'm going to use these to try to keep them socks straight, and I'll show you how I apply them. And there you go. Hopefully that'll keep it weighted down. The weight of the little bit of plastic, along with being tied to the other one, will keep it kind of down and keep it from rotating and stuff a little better, and yet still allow it to be straight and flow well. So we need to put this thing in action and see what it can do.